Welcome to another episode of Purchase to Profits. I'm Seth Ferguson. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our daily interviews with successful real estate investors. Our guest today has an extensive real estate track record, including renovations, property management, notes, wholesaling, turnkey rentals, hard money loans, not to mention his over 200 rental units. Michael Jordan joins us today. Michael, welcome to Purchase to Profits. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. I look forward to great episodes.
Yeah, really looking forward to this. You are a guy with a ton of experience in many different facets of real estate, so this should be a really good one.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I've made it a point to try to learn as much as I can through listening to podcasts like yours and going out there and getting educated and trying things.
Yeah. Well, the key thing is just trying things, right? You can read about things in a book all day long, but you actually have to go out and do it at some point.
Absolutely. I agree. And then when you really make sense of it is when you're going through the deal and, it's kind of like you got to use two key components, everything you do, facts and logic. And, if those two things come together, whether you're the lender on the deal, whether you're fixing a flipping, whether you're buying an apartment complex, when you use those two key factors in anything in life, actually, it's most important.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about your real estate goals right now. What are you looking to do right now in real estate?
Well, my real estate goals are to continue. I have a company by the name of Strategy Properties, and what that does is we buy properties throughout Southeast Michigan. We renovate them to high rental standards. We then get a city inspection, get them certified, and we sell them off to individual investors throughout the country and throughout the globe that want to have passive income. So that company produces roughly around 20 properties a month, give or take, depending on the month. So my goal there is to continually have that steady supply of inventory. And what it takes is really using a multi-pronged approach towards the market at any time. So the market in any condition that it's in, you really have to use multiple different ways to purchase properties. So my goal is to continue to do that. As well as we have a property management company that manages over 1,000 properties. And one thing that we've done with that, it's called ProWay Property Management, is we've really come up with, systems, procedures, and people that makes it click real well. Sometimes when the property management gets to having so many doors, things don't work as well. Well, that doesn't seem to be the case with us because having the right people there as well as the process and systems is so important. So we really want to grow that company also. And that's, the turnkey division is a big supplier of management properties to manage for ProWay Property Management, as well as we take on third-party property management clients. So to maintain those two main companies that we run there is my goal right now, but also to expand in the sense of holding more properties. Now, I scale quicker by buying apartment complexes. So my goal is to, add about 100 units a year to my portfolio. And I look at that as it's great passive income. It's, wealth building strategy. And also it's great for taxes. You get to, get the benefit of the taxes as well as the return. So, and leveraging the property through using bank financing, helps you to eventually one day own that asset. And, I just feel that's a great strategy. So right now those are my goals for the short term and long term, but I also have goals to, expand my network, educate more. I love to educate. A lot of people sometimes email me, ask me questions, or call me. And I love that because I love giving back and helping see others be successful in the business, because the best way to learn is really to go through the process. But also when you're going through the process, it's great to have mentors and other experienced professionals that you can talk to learn about mistakes that they made or successes they had, and take that in and understand it as best as you can, and then, go at it yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to go back real quick. So you've got your main companies. How do you think about the relationship between your companies and then your apartment investing? Do you take the cash flow from the companies and put it right into real estate? Is that how you're approaching it?
Oh yeah, definitely. So you make ordinary income off of selling or flipping properties, or managing properties and things of that nature. And then what we do is we plug it back into buy and holds. So it's really a big cycle. But then you plug it back into buy and holds, where I feel offsets your ordinary income. So that's one of my main strategies overall, and I want to continue to do so for as long as possible. Do I put money to work in lending? Sure. I love lending. I think it's a great opportunity for not only the lender, but also the person who's the borrower to be able to go out there and make money. So one of my aspirations also is to grow a fund one day where I can go out there and lend money from that fund, and I'll have part of my money in there, part of other people's money in there. And, that's another goal of mine. So you just pulled that goal out of me, because I almost forgot that one, because that's a big one, because I just feel that lending is not only a great, from the time to effort ratio return on investment, but also it's a business that creates opportunities for the lender too, because, sometimes the same person that you're borrowing to has deals you can buy. So, just throughout the years since I've been doing this, I've been lending since around 2010, 11. I think it's created so many opportunities just by being on that side of the table.
Yeah. And like you said, too, you're looking to expand your network. I know all the successful investors out there, their deal flow comes from their network. And the more it grows, the more you get, the more opportunities you can cross-collateralize and all that stuff. So,
yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure you've heard the saying, your network is your net worth. I believe that individuals that really want to make it, you try to grow your network as big as possible. Look at it. Look at your phone and see how many contacts you have in your phone. Every time you get a card, put that card in your phone. Put down in the notes what they do, where they're from, where you met them, how you guys can work with each other. Make it a point. Mine is to really meet with people multiple times a week. So, at least twice a week, I'm having dinner with different individuals where there's potential for us to do business. Whether it be mainly in the real estate realm, and sometimes there's some outside the box stuff, but I listen to it, and I always want to keep an open mind and try to observe and learn as much as possible. But something that's a little bit outside the real estate realm. But I really encourage people to network, and that's really the key to getting further faster than you can go by yourself, is by networking.
Yeah, no, 100%. So for you as the investor, what would you say is your number one challenge right now?
Well, as an investor, I would say, we are in a market, I believe, throughout the country where there's approximately 400 MSAs, metropolitan statistical areas. And those areas, a lot of them, each one is different than one another. So you have places like San Francisco or in California that are experiencing a softening market or a declining market. You have places like Dallas, Texas, where it's softening, things are changing. So I look at it like real estate is really local, right? And I feel like a downturn starts on the coasts generally, because those are your first tier markets, and then it comes in throughout time. And I feel like a Midwest type market is one that is generally about, anywhere between a year or 2 years behind, the East and the West and East Coast. And then it comes in. So right now I feel like we're starting to experience challenges. We were experiencing challenges in pricing. I feel it's maybe softening up a little bit, I feel like sellers are still like, oh, well, no, we should be selling this price for this much. And I'm like, I tell my purchasing team, we got a purchasing team of 4 people. And I tell them, guys, hold to our guns. We hold to what's the right price for ourselves and our clients. And I feel that there is an adjustment happening. And our challenge is for the market to understand that there's an adjustment happening.
Yeah, no, 100%. And whenever there is a correction, the buyers pick up on that first, and sellers are always the last people. Sellers and the brokers are always the last people to catch on.
Well, why would they want to catch on? They want their properties to be, the value of the height always, and it's like, so sometimes I tell my agents, and this is a tip for, agents or wholesalers, really keep track of those properties. I would keep them in a pipeline. Make sure you go back and take a look at them. Are they still on the market? Are they still off market? Have they sold yet? Look in public records, because I look at it like right now is the time to really data track and see what is moving and what's not. And you can go back and get it at the right price, because after a while, the seller will realize that, okay, I can't sell these properties. And if I want to sell these properties, I'm going to have to get with the times. I'm going to have to get with what's really happening in the market.
Yeah. And, I think over the past couple of years, some investors have gone and, they'll just pay whatever without sticking to their numbers. So, they'll have their numbers worked out, but then when it gets down to offer time, they'll kind of forget about all their paperwork, and then they'll just pay whatever. So like you said, it's always important to keep in mind, the right price for you and, in your case, your clients.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. I think that know your numbers is one of the key rules in being successful in any segment of real estate, whether it be wholesaling, fix and flipping, buying, holding, apartments. Know your numbers. Know what's going on in the market. I always tell wholesalers, I was speaking to, a group, and a lot of the people in the group were wholesalers. I said, how many of you know how to price out a renovation? And not many of them did. I said, why not? You need to. You're more powerful. You're more valuable. You're more dangerous when you have that ability to know what the renovation costs are. And also your clientele, which is the fix and flippers, are going to love dealing with you that much more when you're accurate. If someone sends me a deal and says, hey, Mike, this deal is, the ARV is, 150, and, you can pick this property up at 70, and the renovation cost is, 35,000 or 40,000. And I go out there and I look at it, I'm like, before I even go out there, I look at it, and the ARV is really 120. And then I look at it, and the renovation when I'm out there is not 30 or 35. It's really 50 or 60. I lose my confidence in that wholesaler.
Yeah. And
to be really effective on the wholesale end, when you got your numbers right, you're ahead of the crowd by knowing your numbers and being accurate and building a form of trust with your buyers. So that's why it's important to know the different segments of real estate, and whether it be in renovations or in rental rates. Know the market that you're in.
Yeah, no, good stuff. So what sort of routines and rituals have you developed that have helped make you successful?
Man, I'm telling you, passion. First of all, it's not a routine or ritual. It starts with really being passionate about wanting to maximize yourself, and also having a vision of where you can take yourself and or your company to. So that's one thing that I feel that people gotta sit down and they really gotta look at themselves and see where they want to be. So it's really, where do you want to take yourself? What is your goal? What is your why? And if your goal, it's like, okay, you can work towards it on a daily basis. And then if you know why you have that goal, you can even work harder for it on a daily basis. But then when it comes down to routines and rituals, I'll tell you, I am a person that, I want to make sure that everyone that I'm dealing with is always being done the right way and making money. So what I do on a daily basis, it might be different for other people, but I use, EOS, which is traction for my companies that I run. And I got department heads in each department, and then I have an operations manager. And what I do is on a daily basis, I focus on, if there's issues that I have in my head, I want to get rid of them right away. I want to talk to my operations manager about what are we doing towards solving those issues, or, staying away from issues in the future. So I feel that's like the first part of it. And I feel once that's completed, which is pretty quick overall, because we have processes that we follow, process maps and systems, and we're really good about being organized on how we run all our businesses. But then I go into maintenance mode, and so I have the defense mode or protection mode, maintenance mode. Maintenance mode is more of taking a look at all the businesses that we have right now and saying, okay, what can we do to increase our business here, or increase our profits here, or better our business here? And I take a look at that, and often I find holes, and I say, okay, great. It may be something I could delegate out, or it may be something that I want to do myself because I feel I can, do it further and faster with some of my relationships. And then once I maintain the business and maybe make some changes that can help the businesses to be more profitable, or more productive, then I go into what I call growth mode, and I see opportunities that I can add on to our current businesses, to be able to, so to speak, add ancillary businesses onto what we're doing that will not affect the flow of someone's job. So maybe sometimes, growing a business that, we added a brokerage firm, for example, I think it was last year. And we didn't have a brokerage firm in the past. We have brokers in the office and everything, but we actually added a physical brokerage firm next door onto our office. And, it's just a way to make money where it makes a lot of sense. There's people that come to us that want to buy properties, people that come to us that want to sell properties, sometimes properties that we're managing, that are brought on from third parties. They want to sell them. So we're like, well, it's a no-brainer to have a brokerage. So that's kind of the growth mode part of the business. And that's a routine that I follow on a daily basis. I think I've been following it for 20 years. And it's really, protect, maintain, grow. And that's something that's very important that I follow. Because I'll tell you this, if you don't protect, or if there's problems, how are you going to maintain, or how are you going to grow? So it's like, your foundation has to be really, really strong in whatever you're doing. If you really care about your business, if you really care about growing. And that's something that, I've been doing for years. And that's the outlook I have on, a routine and a schedule that I follow.
Yeah, no, I really like that. And I think, whenever I'm talking with a beginner real estate investor, they forget about the system side, and the systems are what's actually going to help you grow down the road. So I think you explained that really, really well.
That was me probably about 16, 17 years ago. I would get explained by, I remember my brother-in-law at one point, he was telling me, Mike, listen, we got to create systems. We got to create, standards. We got to create processes. And he had actually left a job from General Motors to come work with me. It was like 3 or 4 years after I got started, but my business started booming, so I could actually afford them. Mm-hmm. And, he brought these philosophies that he had in a big company structure. And I was like, no, that's a waste of time. Let's just go out there and sell. And he was like, Mike, I'm telling you, he's like, without this, you're really, it could really hurt the business overall. Well, I didn't understand it and I didn't see it. And up until about, I would say about 10 years ago, I really seen the value in investing in, processes, procedures, documenting everything that you do from A to Z, keeping track of all your standard documents, having a process map for all functions of the business, making sure that clear communication is given out to whomever you're working with, whether it be one person you're working with or 25 people you're working with, and that everyone's on the same page. And I believe that, that costed me a lot of money, but I believe that we also in business, we're always getting educated. So, I sometimes say, oh, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. And then I came up with a saying, you don't know what you don't know until you know what you know. So it's like, you really have to go through something to really understand the importance of it, or the importance of not having it. And that's just a process. Now you can read a book or get advice from someone and, do it. That's great. But you don't understand the sting or the negative effect or the positive effect until you do it.
Yeah, I like that. So let's jump over to a Keystone deal. So a deal that made a big impact on you and your business.
Oh, geez. There's, I like to say we've had so many winners. We really have. But if I told you we had no losers, not true at all. And I can tell you of a deal, I would say a negative deal, and then I'll tell you about a positive deal. I'll try to make them quick. But I'm at a negative deal where it was, the price was phenomenal. I think we bought the home for $25,000. Area was like 130, 140, 150, right around there. Bought it, and we looked at it. We're like, wow, okay, we're going to put $30,000 into this thing, and we're going to sell the home for 130 to a homeowner. Well, what we learned was it was on a slab, and we didn't detect the foundation issue. That home was an experience. I don't want to say it was the worst experience because, I look at, experiences are meant to help you in their education. And of course, I wish it didn't happen, but it happened. And now I want to try to, extract the best knowledge possible or what I learned out of it. Well, that foundation had to be repaired. And then you go in there, you didn't realize the foundation was that bad. Then the layout was bad. Then you say, you know what, let's get an architect here and redesign the entire home. Well, then we ended up designing a 2-story home, 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and just redoing the entire home. But that was a negative experience that I learned now to help our inspectors that we have inside our company, which are in the purchasing department. We have 2 inspectors there, one main one and one that helps out. And then in the construction department, when they go out and look at homes too, that when you have a slab, you could sometimes have the worst foundation damage possible. And ways to detect it, we've talked about that. Whether, if the floors aren't even, you could put a marble on the floor, and also you can call out the foundation company. If you have a relationship with them and you do multiple deals with them a year, they'll come out there and they have quick ways to inspect, if there's a foundation issue. But, my learning experience there was that really look out for foundation issues, look out for trees near houses that can grow roots and really, disrupt the foundation and cause big damages. Now if that was someone that was doing their first flip, that they borrowed money from someone, they may hate real estate for good because they did that one deal and they lost money and the lender's not happy with them and they lost a ton of money, might have given them a bad taste in their mouth. For me, I know at the end of the day, we do tons of deals and things come up. But when they come up, we know how to cure them a lot quicker, a lot easier now.
Yeah.
A deal that has been really positive for me has been an apartment complex that I bought, a 90 unit. I bought it in an area in Dearborn, Michigan, where Ford Motor was building a bunch of new office buildings over there, bringing in a bunch of new employees. And it's really a prime area right near Greenfield Village. There's a lake right nearby, all that good stuff. It's just a great area. But the reason why I ended up getting it at a great price was a combination. Terrible management. There was no criteria for screening tenants. The city was not happy with apartments, the way that they were maintained. They were neglected. So the bad management neglected the property. The owners, at the end of the day, were really passive investors that all had businesses, successful businesses on their own, and they were relying on a management company. And we just came into a situation where I seen an opportunity there, and I said, you know what, this is what I could pay for it. And at the end of the day, bought the property, went in there, got rid of management right away, put our own property management in there. They didn't even know the tenants, which units were occupied, which ones were not.
Wow.
We did we did a check of all the units. We got the name information, put everyone on leases, started to clean the place out, started to turn units over to get them occupied, renovated. We got some buildings that are going to be under renovation pretty soon here. So that was a great deal entering me into the multifamily world. Previous to that, I had done one multifamily deal, but now I have a 90 unit, I have a 60 unit, I have another complex under contract now. To me, it was a great experience where, you learned that a complex that is being ran real bad is sometimes the biggest opportunity that you could have, because it's not something where you walk in, you get the keys, here's the leases for all the properties. That's an easy one. That's one that, that's why if you go to a broker and you're buying a property, you're going to pay a premium for it because, it's all cleaned up and ready to go. Well, I feel sometimes the distressed properties are the best for me, because I have a team that can go in there and, figure out how do we get this property to performing at an optimum performance for us, and or the greatest potential that complex could perform for itself as far as rental rates and management wise, everything from A to Z. So that was a experience that I feel was a really positive one for me.
Yeah, and for that deal, that was about a year ago, I think, right? A year?
That was over a year ago. It was probably about a year and a half ago.
Okay. So are you shooting for a refi at some point now that it's all cleaned up? Yeah.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think, I feel that's still probably about, 8 months, maybe a year away. But at that point, it'll be a refi, get the whole money that I put down on it. Yeah. I put $1 million down on the complex. But, I'll get that back because, the rents are going to go up probably about 35% below market they were. The improvement to the property is going to, adds great value. And honestly, just having, the great management there and, a P&L, a balance sheet,
Yeah.
I mean, the banks really like that, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
They don't like complexes that don't have balance sheets and leases in place. I don't think I would invest in that if I was a bank either. So.
No, for sure. Well, no, thanks for sharing those. Those were two really good examples.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, those are real life examples that, I've went through. And, I think that, if I'm a listener, I want to know, all the good stuff and all the bad stuff, because you only hear about, you go online sometimes and hear all these success stories of this guy talking about how he has, 3,000 units and 4,000 units. But sometimes it's great to hear also the pitfalls that they went through to get there. Yeah. And if you're a listener and you went through some pitfalls or you're going through some pitfalls, I promise you, if you learn from it and you're resilient and you keep working hard, you'll get to where you want to get. As long as you have that vision, you have that goal in mind, you'll get to where you want to get.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I found is all the successful investors I interview, they've all had like that defining moment where everything seems to be crashing down on them, but then they always like grow even more and exceed after that.
I promise you that has happened to me. I mean, I would say that happened to me back in about 2009. And it was just like, okay, 2010, I think it was. But it was like, in my mind, I was like, how could it get any worse? When really you look at it, it's not that bad and you can fix things. And sure, in that particular time frame, in the events that were happening to me, did I lose a lot of money? Yes, I did. Absolutely. But I look at it like I'm here today, maybe partially because of what happened then. So, I look at it, don't hate what you don't know because it could be good for you later on down the line.
Yeah.
And of course, I didn't like it. I didn't wish it upon myself, but sometimes things come at you for a reason. And I think it's the outlook that you have on things that will make you better and also get to where you want to get.
Yeah, well, 100%. So how has getting into real estate with all the businesses you're operating changed your life so far?
Well, it gives me a breath of fresh air that I feel that I can be financially free. That's number one. Number two, I feel that there's no limit above my head. I walk outside, I feel that the sky is the limit. It's like, how hard do I want to work? And, where do I want to get to? The biggest challenge with that is sometimes finding like-minded people that can work with you to get there. That's one thing that, you asked me about challenges earlier, but, it's finding like-minded people that you can get to. I got a call from a gentleman today and it was like, wow, I know this gentleman pretty well. He's a really good guy. When I talked to him, I'm like, why am I not networking with him more? Why have I not went to dinner with him in the last year? So, I feel that, we have to surround ourselves with the right people to get to where we want to get. If we don't do that, and you surround yourself with the wrong people, you're not going to have the right opportunities, the right deals, the right mindset, so it's very important to, to have the right people around you and the right people to work with to get to where you want to get.
Yeah. And it's amazing to see the difference and how much more productive you are as soon as you bring the right people into your space. It makes such a big impact.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when the first, earlier we were talking about challenges, and I think I mentioned, maybe the market and the market people, the sellers understanding the market. But if you have the right people with you, they know how to combat that too. Yeah. Because they're going to understand how to track data. They're going to understand how to even explain to the seller that, hey, listen, we're a cash buyer. We can get you to the closing, to the finish line a lot quicker to close on the property. And hey, give us a call back, but this is our number. We know the business. And, if you look at the comps or 1, 2, 3, we would love to work with you. And let me know, what is your challenge? Why are you not closing? So, they know how to talk to the person. The person might say, well, speed, we need to close this deal in the next 2 weeks. Okay, no problem. I got the money. I'm ready to close. Or they might say price. Well, on the price, I could, if you want to share, I could share my screen with you. I could show you the comps in the area. Then we can say, let's just throw on there $25 or $30 per square foot to get this home renovated. You tell me, would you sell this property with these numbers? That's why I'm telling you, this is the price right here. I'd love to deal with you. I'm going to leave you with that. You got my information. Contact me when you're ready to sell. I'm ready to buy. So, my point is, it might be sometimes getting people to understand where the market's at, but you also have the right people on your side. You're going to be successful.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Mike, this has been awesome. You've given us some really good information. So if somebody's looking to reach out, learn more about what you're doing, where can they find you?
Well, our website's strategyproperties.com. And again, that's strategyproperties.com. And they could contact me on there, our phone number, our contact information is on there. I'm more than happy ever to answer any questions for anyone. I love this. I mean, I enjoy the education side of the business because, for so long, when I first got started in business, I was into contracting. I was a construction contractor. And I always said, how do these guys get involved in real estate? And how do they make money in real estate? So I always look at it like, I want to be, someone who could help someone get there faster, or help someone, see what I see or see the vision. There's a lot of guys out there that, do incredible things that I look up to. And, a lot of builders out there that have been building for 20, 30, 40 years, and they've gotten to plateaus because they understood the market conditions, when to invest, where to invest. So, I also try to offer that information to anyone that I can, and I'm more than happy to do so.
That's great. Well, Mike, I just want to say thanks again. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the show, and look forward to talking to you soon.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. And to you, our viewers, I wish you well on your journey from purchase to profits. See you next time.